I want you guys, or whoever is watching this, to take a moment and guess what I'm holding in my hand. Give me a moment. All right. This is actually a photo album. We're going to let this represent our life. All right. Each page in this photo album represents our identity. It represents who we are, and it represents how we got there. All right. I will let every picture in this photo album be little snapshots of our lives and who we are and our purpose. Now, whether or not you take a gap year, these pages will fill up. If you take a gap year, it'll fill up. If you decide to go to college straight away, it'll fill up. You will eventually find your identity. It's just based off of what your needs are, what you want to do, what is the best path that you want to take to fill your pages. Now, a gap year is a year or semester off of academics with the intent for the student or potential student to discover what kind of job and what kind of career or education they may want to pursue. It's also to help them discover their identity. Hence, the photo album. This is your identity, this is your life, this is your purpose. And remember now, each page is what you get to fill up, because each page or every day, you can put a picture inside and say, this is part of who I am. This is part of who I am. This is also who I am. And whether or not you take a gap year, this will fill up. So you learn a better sense of self if you take a gap year. You get to explore new countries, you get to explore new things. You explore things that are outside of your comfort zone. That's the whole point of a gap year. So it can be quite scary. It can be pretty overwhelming because this isn't traditional. This is still very much new to a lot of students and to the world, basically. A study done by Tom Griffin, a professor at the University of Waterloo in Canada, he actually conducted a study that showed exposures to different foreign cultures will help gap takers gain a better sense of identity. And that's great, that's amazing. It goes to show that gap years can help you if it is planned. Now, although a gap year does sound fabulous, we do have to take a step and realize the potential drawback of it. And one of the biggest drawbacks that a lot of studies show is gap years could help motivation for school, but it is not needed. In fact, taking a gap year after high school may throw off your momentum of wanting to go to school. It may just throw off your entire academics in general. A study done by a professor at University of Sydney, his last name is Andrew Martin. His name is Andrew Martin, and he is a research fellow. He actually conducted a study about whether or not gap years help with motivation for school, because a lot of students say that they take gap years to help with their motivation of school, because some students, school's not the best thing for them. So taking that year off may give them a fresh mind. So Andrew Griffin conducted his study, and his study showed that you do not need a gap year to help with your motivation. Although it may help, there's no evidence that actually shows that a gap year is 100% needed for motivation. And on top of that, gap years, they could make or break your identity, your purpose, and your academic plan. Because if you don't have a plan for your gap year, it's a waste of time. A successful gap year of finding yourself and what kind of career you want to go into all depends on your plan for the gap year. So it really just depends on whether or not you want to put in the effort and plan your gap year, or you want to go straight into college, and both pathways are fine. So now that you know the drawbacks and the benefits of a gap year, make sure to pick what pathway best suits your needs. Thank you.